Hello and welcome to the 49ers First and 10 podcast. I'm your host, Brianna McDonald, and I'm joined by 49ers team reporter, Lindsay Polares. And Faithful, welcome back to the bi-week edition of the First and 10 podcast. We're highlighting some of the best moments and players of the 2023 season so far. If you missed our last episode, on Wednesday, we gave out awards to some of our mid-season MVPs in all three phases of the game, so go check that one out if you haven't already. And today, we're looking to our rookies and newcomers to the team. It seems like such a long time ago, but we had a bit of a turnover during the offseason and introduced 6 rookies and 6 free agents to the 53-man roster, so a few new faces to get familiar with. Let's rewind to the 2023 NFL draft. What was the team's philosophy going into this draft, and how has it played out so far this season?
Yeah, I think it was kind of consistent through free agency and the draft. The 49ers, as we all know, have a star-studded roster, and they really kept a lot of the foundational pieces headed into 2023. So a lot of the focus was on revamping the defensive line, because that's something that general manager John Lynch and head coach Kyle Shanahan both pointed to, that the standard was that 2019 Super Bowl team, and they wanted just the strength and the force of that defensive line to match that 2019 team. So that was kind of one of the guiding principles, for lack of a better word. And then also it's, of course, to continue building depth at pretty much every position. Like I mentioned, there weren't any glaring needs for the 49ers, so it's about bringing in a younger generation of players, having them in the building, developing them, and that's something the 49ers have kind of just become known for doing. They can hit on a lot of those late round picks, and that's a good thing because they didn't get to make their first draft selection until that third round. So that was kind of where they were operating from and where the additions came from. There was one larger free agency signing, and that, of course, was defensive lineman Javon Hargrave. He came over to San Francisco from the Philadelphia Eagles. The 49ers got to see him in that NFC Championship game. He was coming off an 11-sack showing in 2022, and he's here for the next 4 seasons.
All right, so what we're going to do in this episode is break it down on each side of the ball and choose the best rookie of the 49ers offense, the best rookie of the 49ers defense, and then also highlight a best non-rookie newcomer. But we'll start with our young guys on offense. Who are you naming the best rookie on San Francisco's offense so far this season?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to highlight wide receiver Ronnie Bell. He was a 7th-round draft pick out of Michigan. And he said it from the moment that he was drafted that he was going to be playing with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, and it's been a really great motivating factor for him. He's gotten targets in 3 games so far, so against the Dallas Cowboys, the Arizona Cardinals, and the New York Giants. I said that in reverse, but that's weeks 3, 4, and 5. And he's had 3 receptions for 31 yards and a touchdown. His very first reception of his NFL career was actually a touchdown catch, and it was against the New York Giants on primetime Thursday night football. The 49ers, of course, went on to win that game 30-12. And fun fact, which he shared post-game, that his first reception in his college career was also a touchdown pass. So we definitely like that kind of landmark event for Ronnie. But yeah, he made the 53-man roster when, it's not uncommon. Obviously, we've seen it done, but it's a little bit harder as a 7th-round pick to make your name known. And this is a player that has come in the building, started working from day one, and has been developing. And he's also developed a relationship with one of the organization's best wide receivers in Deebo Samuel. And what a great person to have be your mentor, because he really is kind of the standard for a hybrid wide receiver that the 49ers have utilized in so many ways.
Yeah, and what a way to start a career with a touchdown pass being your first catch in the NFL. That's so cool. I didn't know about the college thing.
Yeah, certainly memorable, right? I thought that was really cool when he said it.
That's awesome. And then I also have to give some love to the tight end Braden Willis. I remember talking to him in the locker room during National Tight Ends Week because he was celebrating his first National Tight Ends Day with the San Francisco squad and George Kittle, Ross Dwelly, Charlie Warner, and the whole gang. So he was really excited to be a part of the squad. during that and enjoying all the festivities of National Tight Ends Day. So we've got some really cool rookies on offense, but we'll shift over to the defensive side now. Who are you naming as the best defensive rookie of the 49ers so far?
Yeah, so I want to give a shout out to a third-round pick rookie safety, Jair Brown, third-round pick out of Penn State. And the 49ers liked this player so much that they decided to make a move on day 2 in order to make sure that they were able to lock him down in that third round. And this is a player that, while they believe he has the talent that he could have started, he has the benefit of learning from 2 really solid players in all-pro safety Talanoa Hufanga and a longtime veteran, Tashawn Gibson Sr. Tashawn Gibson Sr. was a late addition of the 2022 season, but earned a starting spot with San Francisco's defensive unit. And it's kind of been a 1-2 punch with him and Hufanga. And Jair Brown has had the benefit of being able to learn from those 2 guys and also the rest of the defensive, from all of the defensive backs in that room. And one thing that maybe doesn't get noticed enough is that Jair Brown has had action in a couple regular season games at the safety position, but has been playing a pretty significant amount on special teams and is also finding his place on the team in that way. He's got 104 special team snaps under his belt. He's got a special teams tackle. So again, this is a player that the 49ers are hoping to develop in-house and hopefully see take a larger role as he continues to progress through his career.
Thinking back to the draft, this was defensive coordinator Steve Wilkes' guy. He said he had his eye on Jair throughout the entire draft process, and we got to see them bond during the 49ers brick by brick series during training camp. So it's really cool to see how he's found his way with the team and bonded with our coaching staff. And I'm really excited to see what's to come from him the rest of the season. All right, so now we're moving on to our final section of this podcast episode with the best non-rookie newcomer to the team. So who's new to San Francisco but is really taking the light this season so far?
One player that I want to highlight and that I mentioned at the top of this episode is defensive lineman Javon Hargrave. He was brought here from the Eagles on a 4-year deal to really fortify the interior part of the 49ers defensive line. And they really are seeing the early returns on him. He is top 10 in total pressures with 23 through the first 7 weeks of the season, and has just been another good veteran piece to add to that 49ers defensive line. He had 3 sacks through those first 7 weeks, so definitely has seen that early production, and we're hoping a lot more sacks to come in the second half of the season.
I'm also going to go defensive line with my pick of best non-rookie newcomer, and someone who's really captured the attention of the faithful and has been really fun to watch is Clelin Ferrell. We saw him get a really good QB hit against the Vikings in Monday Night Football, and I got to talk to him a little bit at the beginning of the season and get to know more about him and what his pregame is like, and he had a really cool pregame superstition that he's carried on from college, and it's that he goes to a movie theater and he watches a movie before every game, and it's his way to just get his mind out of football and escape. And it's been really cool just to see all the different types of personalities that are new to the locker room and get to know all the new guys. So he's going to be my best non-rookie newcomer. It's been fun to see him on the field and get to know him and have the faithful get to know who he is as well. But that will do it for today. Thank you so much, Lindsay, for joining me in this bye-week update and breaking down all of the best players and moments of our season so far. But don't forget to follow First and 10 on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Faithful, turn on the notifications so you're in the know when we post any breaking news updates. And thank you for tuning in.